All right, everybody, what is going on? Good morning. We are moving on to another position today, like I said, and this is going to be a little bit of a polarizing position, I think, for Seahawks fans because, on the one hand, nose tackle, we don't really have one. Like, Jaron Reed is kind of a nose tackle. Byron Murphy, we play him at nose tackle, but it does seem like something that needs to be addressed, but on the other hand, we didn't really have a nose tackle, at least not a real nose tackle, last season, and we had the best run defense in football. So I think you can make a pretty compelling argument that we don't really need one, or maybe we do have one and it's just a little misunderstood. When I look at this team, I see Leonard Williams, 3 tech, Byron Murphy, 3 tech, Riley Mills, 3 tech. And then maybe Jaron Reed is a 1 tech, but this is probably his last season in the NFL anyway, and I don't know how much he's gonna be able to do, and we don't necessarily play him at nose tackle a lot, and I don't know. I don't see a real nose, but then I see how good we were against the run last year, and it's like, why would I mess with that? But I do think there's an argument to be made that you can kick the tires on some true nose tackles in this draft. So let's take a look at some guys here. This first video is going to cover the guys that are going to supposedly, anyway, go in the first 2 rounds, I believe. So, yeah, this first guy, he is considered by most everyone to be a late first rounder. So maybe he creeps into the early second, but got a good chance of going in the first. It's Kayden McDonald of the Ohio State Buckeyes. He is the cream of the crop, and this is a good nose tackle crop in general. This is one of the better nose tackle classes you're going to find. There are a lot of guys that are going to be top 100 picks. McDonald is probably going to be the only guy who goes in the top 32, though. So he's squat, which is actually good, right? You want to be short as a nose tackle a lot, 33rd percentile. He's heavy, 88th percentile. So he's got plenty of weight, almost 330. He did kind of have short arms, which is not really what you want to see. What I would say is that there's a theory going around that the how should I put this? The combine didn't do a great job of measuring stuff this year, and maybe they were a little bit off, but it's still not great. 32 and a quarter, 9.75-inch hands. So the arm length is a little bit of a problem, but let's move forward here. Every big board that I use has him in the first round, except for Walter Football. Walter, they didn't even have him in their top 100, I guess. The aggregate put him at 29, so late first round pick. And I do think there is a play to be made here at 32 if he's there. I do think you can consider doing that. Very productive in 2025, 65 tackles, really good for a nose. 9 for a loss, 3 sacks, which is also good, although he did not have a lot of pressures. Really good PFF grade. Positives with McDonald, he always gives maximum effort, got a very high motor, always go until the whistle blows. He covers a lot of ground for a bigger guy, as proven by his tackle count. He shoots gaps like a much smaller player. He can actually do some gap shooting, pretty effective at that. He's extremely powerful. He holds his ground well when he's trying to take up space against the run. His bull rush is legitimate. So there is some power stuff going on here. Powerful player. He has some upper body strength. This should be strength to shed blockers. So he is somebody that can get off of blocks and still make a play even when he's absorbed. And he's a cerebral player against the run. He's not just a big dude. He knows how to read where the play is going and adjust his responsibility to account for it. Now, despite him being short, he kind of plays without bending his knees. He plays standing straight up, so he still runs into some problems. He's got to learn how to get a little more low consistently. There's still not a lot here as a pass rusher. Like, I know he had 3 sacks last year, which sounds okay, but he averaged about 1 pressure a game, and the year before that, there was nothing whatsoever. So very limited stuff there. There's a little bit of a bull rush. That's it. The lack of length is concerning. A lot of the guys we're going to look at today have longer arms than this. And he has a very high motor against the run, but he does tend to fail to string moves together. Like, he's not someone that's going to keep going against the pass, right? He'll make a move, and if the move doesn't work, he's out of the play. So he's kind of a classic nose tackle. He's big, he's stout, he can neutralize the run, but I don't know if he'll be able to play the pass very well. I'm a little worried about the arms. That has thrown me off a little bit, but this is a very nice player. There are some nice things about him athletically as well, even though that's obviously not the focal point. Very powerful. I think he can shed blockers even with the shorter arms. So I still put him in the first. The arm length is a problem, but I don't think it's a crippling problem. All right, so that is Kayden McDonald. Next guy up, the next guy on the list is Lee Hunter. And one thing to note, it's sometimes hard to know who's a nose tackle and who's not. So I'm just estimating. Some of these players we're talking about, I acknowledge it's possible they end up being more of a 3-tech in the NFL, but I'm applying my best wisdom based on the knowledge we have. So Lee Hunter of Texas Tech, 24. He's a pretty big guy, almost 320. Longer arms, 33 and a quarter. So 53rd percentile, that plays. He tested at the combine. He cannot jump. He cannot jump, and he was pretty slow, but a 5'18" 40 for 320 pounds is fine. That's really not that bad. I don't object to that too hard. Most of the big boards have him in the second. CBS had him in the first. The aggregate has him in the mid-second, so that's about where I would estimate that he goes. Good production the last 2 years. Unlike some nose tackles, he does make a lot of plays, and he does actually generate some pressure. 20 tackles for loss, 53 pressures, pretty good PFF grades over the last couple of seasons. So unlike some of the other guys we're going to look at here, this guy gets to the quarterback a little bit. It's not too bad. So he's got a wide frame. So you're going to look at these arms and you're going to think, well, that's okay. But he's got broad shoulders, so his arm length actually feels more than it is. He holds his ground and he's powerful enough to knock back offensive linemen. So he's a very powerful player. He's productive for a bigger lineman as well. He gets a lot of tackles and he makes a lot of plays. This is not just a space absorber. He shows some pass rush and gap shooting upside as well. And his stack and shed game is good. So he can move off blockers and get to his next checkpoint. Now, as of right now, I would say that he depends on being bigger and stronger than everyone else. His technique is not ideal, like when he goes into a double team, when he's trying to play the run and try to get to his gap. That stuff not so great. He's still unlikely to do much as a pass rusher. This should be pass. A lot of typos today. So he's mostly just a bull rusher. I know the production is not terrible, but I don't view him as like a pass rushing nose tackle at all. I still think he's mostly just a bull rusher. Doesn't really have the mobility and range that you would like to see. I know he's a nose tackle, but like McDonald definitely covers more ground than Lee Hunter. So I think there's an interesting debate here between him and McDonald for top nose in this draft. McDonald has more polish and he's rangy. Hunter might have a little bit more of a pass rusher upside, although that's not saying a lot. And he's got the longer reach. So I do think McDonald's better, but I think Lee Hunter's an early second rounder. And part of me wonders if he has more upside than McDonald because of the pass rush seeds and also the longer reach. Final guy for this video, this is going to be another second rounder, and this is a guy who I'm not sure if he's a nose. I think you can make a compelling argument a few different ways on Christian Miller of Georgia, 22. Pretty big, right? Almost 6'4", 321 pounds. Okay arms, 33 inches, 10-inch hands. Big boards, we got seconds, we got thirds. The aggregate puts him in the mid-second. Does seem like he'll go somewhere in that second round. 50 tackles, 7.5 for a loss, 3 sacks, and 38 pressures over the last 2 seasons. PFF grades have been quite good. So, good player, part of a nice Georgia defense. They've been competitive for the last couple years for sure. He moves pretty well for a guy at his weight. Like, he does actually cover decent ground and have, like, some movement skills. He's got more pass rush upside than you would typically find in a guy you're talking about as a nose tackle. There are some things he can like do to threaten the edges. There are some things that he can do to actually hit a guy with a move like a swim. He's a quality run defender with the strength to control blocks. So I do think that there is probably some nose tackle stuff going on here. He gets low. He knows how to be the low man, even though he's a little bit on the taller side. Wins with leverage. He should be relatively versatile in alignment. So you might be getting a one tech, you might be getting a three tech, you might be getting something kind of in the middle. So that's nice, but I don't know what he's going to be best at. I think he's a nose tackle, but I'm not sure, and that's not great. You'd prefer to be a little bit more sure with what you're looking at here. He's doesn't have a super wide body. Most nose tackles have wider bodies than him. His lateral agility is kind of lacking as well. He's not all that quick moving side to side. He can get overly aggressive and try to go make a play and leave his gap unattended. And he's not really that good at absorbing double teams. So the double teams, that's an important part of being a nose tackle. So that's a warning sign. So I'm not sure what he is. I think you can make a few different arguments. I just don't like the ambiguity here. I would rather have somebody that I know is a nose tackle and nothing else than somebody who could be both but could be neither. So third round for me. I'm a little bit not super into this. It doesn't feel right to me. I don't know how to put it other than that. All right. I will see you guys later. Go Hawks. Everyone have a good rest of your day. I think we're going to do more nose tackle stuff later today. It depends on what happens, but see you then. Go Hawks.